Monolith Brook Shadow back again. You know what this is. This is going to be another tutorial, but it's about one of the new hypers, Tae. And let me tell you, I am super excited about this. I'm almost as excited about this one as I was about Luke because of the whole Bruce Lee thing. But Tae actually reminds me of a character from King of Fighters, Kim. If you've played the game, you know who I'm talking about. Sit tight. I'm going to show you what I mean. Alright, so let's look at his auto attacks first. We're going to just look at his auto attacks because that's going to give it away right there. Look at these kicks, man. Look at those kicks. Look how good those kicks are. Alright, so basically 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3-hit auto attack. Your last auto attack does 2 hits. It's a 2-hit combo on the last swing kick. Alright, now let's look at his skills real quick. His passive is Harmony. Tae channels the power of the Void, which sounds crazy, but he's a good guy. While using the skill let me break this down real quick, because that's just gibberish. You get another attack on your skills if you have an orb, every single one of them. You do your Q, your normal Blade of Wind, boom, that's what it looks like. You want to use an orb on it, boom, boom, that's what it looks like. You do your W, what are we looking at here? Surge of Earth, no, slide at him. Would you want to put an orb on that? Of course you do. Slide, kick up, that's what it looks like. That still looks like Kim too, both those attacks, man, I'm loving it. What you got? You got Shield of Water. Now this one I'm actually going to break down. You take 30% less damage, ignores all restrictions and interference effects except for grapple. So beware, you can get grappled while doing this. But say you find yourself in a sticky situation. The enemy's right here. You got Perseus right here. You got another enemy coming down from above. You just chill, man. Just chill out. Just chill out. Just chill out. Gather yourself. They give you a chance to get out. Maybe you need to get your dash back off of cooldown or your W so you can escape out of that. There you go, right there. Now, I'm sorry. I'm really hyper right now. Like, I'm really hyper about hyper, I guess you could say. But anyway, so we're going to show you what it does with the orb. So you put that bad boy in there, hit it again, activate the orb. What did that do? Kicked both sides, and it does hit on both sides, and it kicks them away and slows them. So it knocks them away from you, slows them, so it takes them a little bit longer to get back to you. Now your ultimate, I forgot to level my gosh darn self up. There we go, Wave of Fire. He focuses his inner fire on his legs and comes crashing down from this high kick Horong style from Tekken. And it also drags them in. I want to make sure that you understand that. The kick actually drags them in. I'm going to show you the radius, and then we're going to actually talk about like what I mean by drags them in. So this is what the kick looks like. That explosion by his feet, if they're close enough, it'll pull them in. You can actually see the particle effects of it being sucked in by his waist when he lands. So let's see it. Alright, so this is what the kick looks like when they're right up on him. Boom, he's right there. So he gets stunned and slowed, buddy. Now let's check this out. I'm going to be right about here. It should pull him in. There you go. See that? So, yank them in. Now, this one also does use Void Orbs too. However, the difference is it takes 2. So you need 2 Void Orbs to actually use, or Harmony Orbs, I'm sorry. He's going through Void, but Harmony Orbs to actually use this. So I'm going to show you what it looks like again by itself. Alright, and this is with the Harmony Orbs. It adds 2 kicks to it. Now, mind you, they don't really do that much damage, but they do enough. Even when you get your full build, that particular part of his combo does not really do that much damage. Alright, let's go into the more detailed aspects. So the actual orb, the channel energy, this does not stop you. It does not prevent you from doing anything. You can do it while you're doing skills. You can do it while you're doing attacks. You can do it while you're jumping, climbing ladders. You can do it while you're doing anything. Anyway, he meditates to gain the following effects. Restores 1 Harmony Orb, restores 5% of health, and restores 15 mana. So I'm going to use my orbs here. Oh, I messed that up. I'm going to use my orbs here. By the way, it only activates your orbs if you actually hit somebody. Anywho, so, or hit something. Alright, now I'm going to hit A. Alright, that healed me a little bit. It's not a big heal, but it's a nice heal. Trust me, it comes in handy. Because it keeps you in fights. It's like you got some life still going and that. While you're fighting, yeah, you're good. Alright, so as you saw, orb again. Bring it back up. Now I'm gonna burn all my orbs real quick, so I'm gonna show you. So I'm auto attacking, right? As long as it's not on cooldown. So I'm auto attacking. Use this real quick. Auto attacking, boom, orb. So I can be doing anything, period. As long as I have it off cooldown, I can get another orb. See? We got it right there. It's just kind of one of those things you have to learn how to deal with so you don't fat finger it, because I do it quite a few times myself. Now, we're going to talk about combos here real quick, so let me kill him to get him out of this corner. Didn't have enough orbs. Look at that. I'm tripping. Ah, God. You can kind of see the combos I'm doing, but I want him out of this freaking corner, and I don't want to just reset the thing. There we go. And he didn't get out of the corner. Well, son of a gun. Oh well, we'll do it with him in this corner. Okay, so a few of the things I want to make sure you are aware of. If you hold whichever direction you want to go in when you use your Q, even when you're using the Q first, before you do the Harmony Orb to it, you will go flying in that direction. So if you don't hold anything, you just stay right there. If you do hold something, you just go swimming forward in that particular direction. So that's something to note. With the W, you don't have to hold anything. Whatever direction you're facing, you will go that way. Now again, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to how many orbs you have before you start trying to do your combos. I can't stress this enough, where you'll find yourself in a sticky situation where you thought you had the damage because you thought you had the orb for the combo and you're dead. So here we go. Personally, I like to do, if I'm going to burn orbs, I like to do my W orb first and then relaunch them with my Q. I'll show you that again. So my W is going to send me to them. Then I kick them up with the orb. So W sends me to them, kick them up with the orb. After that, my normal Q without the orb launches. So W to them, they're launched, Q, there it is again. Now that burns 2 orbs though. But there are other things that you can do. Like you can combo into your ult with either one of those. It's easier with the W. Most of the combos are easier to start with the W, but you can start with Q. The only reason why it's easier to start with the W is because you already know, you have it ingrained in your head, you're going forward. Period, the end, when you hit W. When you hit Q, sometimes you might not have meant to be pressing forward because you were engaged in the battle and it just sends you past the person. You can mess up your combo. So it's just easier until you get the hang of him, so you're not fat fingering the double tap or fat fingering the directions that you're going. Anyway, so if you want, and then launch, there you go. Now that burns all of your orbs, so it's kind of a high risk, high reward deal. Same with the Q. Burns all of your orbs. Now, what you can do instead as well is if you're just trying to make sure they don't get away, Q, R, and then, okay, don't do, see that was a fat finger. Q, R, and then just W. Now you still have 1 orb left in that case. Mind you, at that point, you should have your stuff on cooldown to be able to regain your orb and heal up a little bit. But other than that, if you're just trying to manage and it is on cooldown, you know it won't be up by the time you're done with your combo. That's another way to instigate it. Now you can also start a combo with your ultimate if you want to just dash in, kind of pull them to you, get in there, and then you can just set your combo up that way. Now if you're paying attention, you've gotten a good hang of the guy, you can just start putting those orbs back in place immediately as you're using them. See, like I'm at 2 now, I should have been at 1 because I used so many. Either way, another thing I want to talk about before we go over the items is positioning with Tae. You want to kind of set yourself up where you can get kind of sort of behind somebody and just go ham on them and get out. Tae does build defenses, or at least how I build him, he does build defenses. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but he does build defenses. So you can have some survivability. That's what I recommend, is you do have some defense on your Tae. If you go glass cannon, you're gonna die more often than not because you don't have the ability to get in, do some damage, and get out. You'll get in, do some damage. Maybe if you get CC'd, you'll be stuck and dead. But if you get CC'd and you have some defenses, then hey, you're stuck for a second, then you can get back out. Anyway, but positioning is key. You kind of want to try and pick people off. Say you have a striker that's playing a little too close to the front because they're pretty confident in their skills and what they can do and their damage. If you can initiate that without like them suspecting it, say they're at this ladder and they're just shooting through the minions, they keep getting closer and closer, and you can initiate it with your W before they actually get into range, before you're actually in range. So basically you're sliding through their auto attacks and then you hit them and launch them and they're at your mercy. That's a good way to initiate. You don't want to just kind of run in gun-ho with this particular hyper. You don't really want to do that with any assassins unless you know that you can get in and out. That's one thing I want to stress. When you're playing an assassin, don't think that it's time to 1v4, it's time to dive, it's time to just get in there, do all the work, and then because you're going to die, man. Unless you have defenses, you will in fact die. So 2 things I can suggest just in general when playing assassins: please, please, please don't go glass cannon unless you are 100% sure of what you're doing. If you see that enemy team or you played this hyper to the point where you maxed his freaking level and you just know, man, alright, I won't say anything to you about it. I mean, I won't say anything to you about it, period, even if you're on my team. I'm trying not to be toxic. But for the love of all that is hyper goodness, build some defenses. It just a few. Doesn't have to be a lot. Like you'll see, I only have like 2 real defensive items, not counting my boots. So we'll go over that. The Titan Combat Boots, defense plus 5, move speed plus 40, and then defense plus 10, move speed plus 50. As you all know, if you have, well, you might not know this unless you've watched some of my older tutorials or you've seen some of my gameplay. I put 1 point in the boot, and then I move on, max out an item, come back to my boots. That's just how I do it. My next item, and his build is not actually in the order in which I build it. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just not. I prioritize by how the game's going when I have to go against. So, Dread Mantle, defense plus 10, lifesteal plus 5, and then cooldown 5%, and then cooldown plus 5% on the reduction. Then defense, lifesteal, and then cooldown, and it steals the enemy's stats up to 5 times for 3 seconds when the attack hits. Steals defense 3, steals move speed 3%. So that's always nice. This is the only unique item I have on the Hyper, and I've said this before in one of my previous tutorials, and I need to go back and redo Jax because of this. But don't just load your item set with all their unique items. It doesn't really pan out. It might seem like it would, but it doesn't. There are definitely more items that do it better than the unique items do. The unique items do help with certain things, but you're basically wanting to pick the item that synergizes with your playstyle, what you use the most, what you do the most. If you just load them all in there, it's just kind of like this generic palette with, oh, you're just a Tae, basically, instead of, oh, you're a Tae that uses Successor's Mark, and this is what we need to watch out for him. He definitely uses his Q and W a lot. He knows how to reset his harmony orbs. He knows what he's doing, kind of deal. Or one of the other ones, like, oh, he's a Tae that uses this a lot. He knows. You gotta be mindful of this. That's another thing you want to look out for when you look at the enemy team. When you look at their build and you look at their items, you're like, oh, okay, they have this unique item. Or even if they don't have that unique item, they have this item. You know what this item does. You're like, oh crap, I need to look out for this. That actually has a good aura on it, so I can't really get into team fights with them. Or if I do, I need to make sure that they drop first, so on and so forth, because there are good support items for us. Anyway, sorry for that little rant. Successor Mark does attack plus 5, lifesteal plus 5%, attack, crit rate, lifesteal, attack, crit rate, attack, and crit rate, but it enhances Blade of Wind and Surge of Earth, so that's dope. My Q and my W are both getting enhanced. What does it do? Harmony linked attacks does 10% damage on both, and the cooldown is reduced by 1.5%, or not 1.5, by 1.5 seconds on both. Alright, so next thing I have is Hunter's Claw. It's giving me some more attack and crit rate, basically. And also, when I'm attacking, my move speed goes up by 10% for 3 seconds. And when the enemy's health is below 50%, it increases damage inflicted by 10%. So the lower I get them, the more damage I'm doing. It's fantastic. Then Forsworn Dagger, attack and some defense penetration, some crit rate. Reason being, you gotta think they're bound to have a tank on their team, and even if they don't have a tank on their team, you're just gonna blow through their defenses at this point, regardless. If there's not building enough defenses and you have defense penetration and crit rate, I mean, come on. Anywho. So the Forsworn Dagger also has this. Each time health is reduced by 7%, the following effect is activated. Defense plus 5, max 50, and health regen plus 15%, and max is plus 150. That is dope. Alright, so last thing is Frost Cape. I'm sorry, I know I use this item a lot, but when it comes to defense items, this is a personal favorite. So if I'm playing a tank, a bruiser, anyone who I put defense on, it's not like a striker, because I will never put this on a striker unless some weird meta change happens. I will never in life put this on a striker, or if I'm making some goofy video and I'm doing it intentionally. Anyway, defense plus 10, max health plus 100, max mana plus 10, defense plus 10, max health, max mana, defense, max health, max mana. On the third stage, does 61 additional damage per second in a 300 unit radius, which is actually a pretty big radius for what it's doing. Up to 70 at level 10 as base. And then the last bit, when hit, decreases movement speed of an enemy that hit you by 20% for 1.5 seconds. Oh? What does that mean? That means they can't get away when I'm freaking flying at them, doing all the things and going crazy? Yes, that's exactly what that means. Anyway, guys, this has been kind of like a really hype tutorial and guide because I am super excited about this character and I am going to main the jangles out of this character. This is my assassin. Here on out, unless they come out with one that's just extra dope-alicious. Later, this guy and Lewis, and then Jack. Like those are gonna be my go-tos. I might have some games, a few here and there, what have you, just to kind of stretch my legs. But yeah. Anyway, guys, this is Monolith Brook Shadow. I'm signing out. Have a great day, morning, noon, or night, whatever it is, where you are. Have a great or have a great, get a good cup of coffee, water, milk, tea, whatever it is you're drinking to make your day a little bit better. And as always, I will see y'all on the next video. Signing off, guys.